Forward.
A chilling report. Police say the men charged in the murder of a doctor's family broke into other homes the night before.
I requested one investigation.
Governor Spitzer under fire as the Ethics Commission enters the fray.
A special camp that gives young survivors a place where they can just be themselves.
It's crazy. $42 for just over an hour. Just over an hour.
And the most expensive parking in the nation and its effect on traffic congestion.
You're watching NBC4 HD. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 11.
Good evening. They could face death by lethal injection.
Tonight, a Connecticut prosecutor says he will seek the death penalty for 2 career criminals charged with Monday's deadly home invasion in Cheshire. There's also word the pair may have burglarized 2 nearby homes the night before, and in those cases, the families were home as well. David Ushery's in the newsroom with late details for us. David?
And Chuck, that word tonight coming from the 2 homeowners who reportedly say they were told by police that burglaries at their homes Sunday morning while they and their families were sleeping inside can be linked to these 2 suspects. And that news was even more unsettling in a neighborhood and town already shaken to its core. Still reeling from the horrific deaths Monday of Jennifer Hawk Pettit, her daughters Haley and Michaela, and the severe beating of Dr. William Pettit. The New Haven State's attorney confirmed he will seek the death penalty against 26-year-old Joshua Komisarjevsky and 44-year-old Stephen Hayes. Cheshire and Connecticut State Police have spent days building what's described as a strong case.
Our detective division, along with major crime, will continue the investigation. Like Lieutenant Vance stated from the state police, they will leave no stone unturned.
The state medical examiner confirmed that Hawk Pettit was strangled and her daughters died of smoke inhalation as their house burned, the culmination of a violent chain of events that allegedly included burglary and abduction.
The cause of death enabled the medical examiner to deem that the deaths were as a result of homicide. And that's information that will add to the investigation.
State police say Komisarjevsky and Hayes, both convicted burglars with long rap sheets, were out on parole at the time of Monday's killings. Governor Jody Rell has now ordered a review of all procedures regulating how suspects are charged, sentenced, and released. Governor Rell has appointed a retired judge to head a review committee. Also, there is word a public memorial service has been scheduled for Saturday. Sue, back to you in the studio.
David, thank you. The New York State Ethics Commission is now looking into Governor Spitzer and his aide's smear campaign of Senate Majority Leader Joe Bruno, and it could mean subpoenas for Spitzer and his staff. Political reporter J.D. Dapper has more.
Bruno requested the investigation that came out.
Red, please.
Was that right or wrong? You've made that claim before. You requested one investigation. Bruno requested another.
It started with the first question from New York Post columnist Fred Dicker.
The investigation was closed, and I'm not going to quibble with...
The description of the facts do not jive with what Andrew Cuomo, the Attorney General, has said. Certainly, the former Attorney General...
Spitzer barely able to get a word in edgewise.
I'm not going to get into the back and forth.
Dicker asking the same question we asked Spitzer last night. Neither his communications director, Darren Dopp, nor his chief of staff, Rich Baum, agreed to answer questions during the Attorney General's investigation. So we asked, how is that the full cooperation Spitzer says his office gave?
He has answered all the media questions that have been asked.
The Attorney General's question.
The Attorney General closed their investigation. They were satisfied with the sworn statement he presented.
But Cuomo's office says, quote, we told the governor's counsel's office that we wanted to interview Darren Dopp and Richard Baum, but the governor's counsel's office declined and instead sent sworn written statements. Now, the Ethics Commission is looking at the case and may launch a full investigation. And unlike Cuomo, the commission will have subpoena power, meaning Dopp, Baum, and even Spitzer himself could be forced to answer questions under oath. Spitzer did get some help, though, from Assembly Speaker Shelley Silver.
Everything else that is now going on is an attempt to discredit a governor in his attempt for re-election 3.5 years from now.
Tonight, Spitzer's office says it will cooperate with the Ethics Commission in providing the same material it provided Cuomo's office. But that leaves an awful lot of wiggle room should the Ethics Commission decide it needs to go further, especially with its subpoena power. J.D. Dapper, News Channel 4.
You can follow the developments in this story and get all the day's big political stories by downloading Politics to Go from WNBC.com.
Investors worried about a slump in housing sales gave Wall Street its second biggest point loss of 2007 today. The Dow Jones Industrials dropped nearly 450 points before recovering some of the lost ground by the closing bell, ending the day down 311 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index lost 48 points to finish at 25.99. And Japan's main stock index is down sharply in the wake of Wall Street.
An apparent Good Samaritan is facing criminal charges in New Jersey tonight. But was it a big misunderstanding? The screams come from Monica Montoya, moments after Roselle Park police threw her in cuffs last month. Montoya, in the pink shirt, had stopped to help a woman who'd been hit by a car. But things got out of hand when Montoya was denied access to a cell phone so she could have her daughter picked up. Police say she refused to cooperate, and now she's charged with obstruction of justice and resisting arrest.
The charges are completely outrageous because this is a clear case of police brutality.
Tonight, the Roselle Park Police Department says it is investigating the incident.
That massive wildfire in May in New Jersey's Pinelands is now officially blamed on a military exercise gone bad. The Pentagon says a National Guard pilot was flying way too low when he dropped a flare on Bone Dry Day. The flare ignited the fire that destroyed 4 homes and burned more than 17,000 acres, but the pilot isn't the only one at fault. Investigators say information about the tinder-dry conditions surrounding the Warren Grove gunnery range was poorly communicated.
Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick pleaded not guilty to federal dogfighting charges today. A crowd jeered as he walked into a Richmond court. Vick and 3 others are accused of operating a dogfighting business called Bad News Kennels on Vick's property. Vick was released without bond. His trial is set to begin November 26th.
To many, they're brave, they're strong, and they're victims. But in one summer camp for burn survivors, they are just plain kids. Carol M. Riddell's special report in 60 seconds.
If you're looking for the
Last summer, we took you to a very special camp for children who are burn survivors.
And we were so moved by what we saw last summer, we decided to go back again this year. Carol M. Riddell is here now with more for us. Carol Ann?
Well, and the experience was just as inspiring this year. The children who attend this camp come from around the country. It is a chance for them to just be kids, free of the burdens that can come with looking different.
No stares, no teasing, just kids having the time of their lives.
1, 2, 5.
This is the Children's Burn Camp in Union, Connecticut, a camp for burn survivors.
It's nice to be with people just like me, and I don't get teased when I'm here.
The camp is a week-long program for kids between 8 and 18 years old. It is completely free for the children who attend. The activities are what you'd expect at summer camp.
Good, there you go.
Archery, boating,
Tighten this up.
big noisy meals in the dining hall. What you might not expect is this. Spend a little time here and you no longer see the scars, you only see the children.
We don't ever ask them how they got burned because we really don't care. I mean, I've been here 15 years and you look at a child, you just see a child. I don't see their burns, I don't see their scars.
The camp is staffed entirely by volunteers. Many of them are firefighters, medical workers, or burn survivors themselves. They give their time to the children here, but say they get much more in return.
Bill Carlson is a New York City firefighter and camp volunteer.
I have so much respect for these kids, and if I can do a small part to make, part of their summer just a little better, a little brighter, I definitely want to be part of that.
Come on, buddy.
Beyond just the fun, there's another part of this experience for the kids. They leave with a different sense of what's possible. We watched campers on challenge courses, a teenager with severely injured legs climbing high into the tree line. An 11-year-old walking a tightrope in the sky, disarmingly nonchalant about it all.
Were you scared? Nah. Not at all? No. You are more brave than me.
It's exactly what these youngsters learn to do every day, push through, fearlessly, looking different in a world that can put misplaced value on physical appearance. Mimi Long, a camper turned counselor, remembers a time when she wouldn't wear short sleeves. That's changed. Now she encourages other young burn survivors to be themselves and be proud.
People would always stare at you no matter what. And just keep your head high.
Not once in the 15 years I've been involved in this camp have I ever heard a child say to me, why me? Why did this happen to me? I've never heard that. And actually, they're the teachers for us.
And we're told the camp costs about $150,000 to run. It's paid for through donations and fundraising events. You can find more information on our website, WNBC.com. Chuck,
Caroline, it's just 1 week, though.
It's
right?
It's 1 week, a special week for these kids, but it's 1 week. Yeah.
Okay, because of funding, they could.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that. Yeah, it's an expensive program to run, and as you heard, everyone's a volunteer.
Okay, great week. Thanks.
Thank you,
Good
Caroline.
report. Still ahead, how do you steal a swimming pool without leaving a drop of water behind?
You'll need a pool to cool off tomorrow. John's forecast is next.
The maddening traffic that's caused by people who aren't going anywhere at all. They're just looking. You should notice a new look for bicycle delivery workers here in New York City. Starting today, the law requires workers who bike on the job to wear helmets. Employers must give every bicycle delivery worker a helmet that meets city safety standards. Business owners also have to give workers a lamp, bell, brakes, and reflectors.
New York State lawmakers today approved a commission to study congestion pricing, one step closer to a green light for Mayor Bloomberg's plan to charge drivers who enter many parts of Manhattan. But what about congestion parking? Andrew Siff is live in Hell's Kitchen with more. Andrew?
And Sue, 2 new studies by a leading transportation group suggest that on any given day, up to 50% of the cars in Manhattan are just looking for a place to park. I hate to give away a secret, but some drivers know the answer. On streets like this one, West 44th Street, after 6 p.m., parking is free. Catching up on calls in an air-conditioned car while waiting for your parking space to become legal? Priceless. Just ask Chris Gatelli, who earlier in the day paid for a garage.
$42.
How long did you park there for?
Hour and 15 minutes.
Gatelli's sticker shock reflects a new study. New York has the priciest parking in America. Midtown Manhattan costing more than $600 a month and downtown Manhattan $500. Much more than Boston, San Francisco, and Philadelphia, and nearly 20 times more than parking-friendly cities like Phoenix and other locations out west. And yet, New Yorkers have a way of getting around things. Even though spots are illegal till 6 on West 44th Street, just after 5, the street is packed.
If you don't get here before 6, it's like you could really get into some issues trying to look for a spot.
Wiley Norvell of a group called Transportation Alternatives says free spaces may seem fine compared to expensive garages, but there's a catch: congestion. He says up to half the drivers in Manhattan are just looking for parking.
It's just circling the block, looking for parking. That's an enormous amount of traffic. These aren't people who are driving to a destination. These are people who have already reached their destination.
Eric Feeder drove every block in Manhattan and proposed a solution on his website, wheretofindparking.com. It steers drivers away from clogged, no-standing areas like Times Square.
It's not just where to park and when to park, it's also where not to park. I think a lot of people drive in circles because they're driving on streets where you can never, ever park.
And there are 2 potential solutions being discussed for congestion parking. One is resident parking. That would cut down on all that circling. And the other is what's known as market-based parking. Spots on the street would no longer be free, but instead would be priced according to what people are willing to pay. We're live on West 44th Street tonight. Andrew Siff, News Channel 4.
Andrew, thank you very much. Time for the weather now, and we're still looking ahead to the weekend. John.
And we are, and we're hopeful, Chuck and Sue. We're very hopeful that the rain showers will stay away. But unfortunately, we're thinking right now some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for at least the next several days. There'll be dry times as well, though, so it's not going to be a washout. The current reading right now, as we take a look with mainly dry skies throughout the tri-state area, it's 74 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Other statistics, and the wind is blowing lightly off the water at southeast at 3 miles an hour. The humidity well up there, you know that, 85%, and the barometer is steady. The high today made it up where we should be this July 26th at 85, overnight low 71. No precipitation for the day. In the weather headlines, here we go. The tropical feel stays with us through the weekend. Spotty afternoon thunderstorms. The big issue with the thunderstorms will be the downpours. Best chances right now for a soaker looks to be about Sunday. Around the region right now, temperatures are quite uniform. We're in the lower to mid-70s throughout the tri-state area with that onshore light flow coming off the waters. Ocean water temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s right now. And we're looking off to the west. There's a wheel of moisture that's just spinning around over the eastern Great Lakes. And every now and then a spoke of energy gets us. We have the daytime heating. That gives us a scattered shower thunderstorm threat for the next several days. As long as that baby's out there, it's going to give us some chances of precipitation for at least the next 4 or 5 days, as we said. Overnight tonight, though, basically dry. Maybe a few showers over eastern Long Island. Temperatures there in the lower 60s elsewhere. The lower 70s in the city, mid-60s north and west. Winds will be out of the south to southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. The morning commute, Hazy sunshine. There'll be a lot of clouds out there as well. Here's that spoke of energy coming through. Warm and humid by, let's say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be drifting by from northwest to southeast. It's going to be humid tomorrow as well, 85 degrees. Saturday right now, we're thinking the better of the 2 days of the weekend. We're looking for scattered showers and maybe a rumble of thunder, 86. Sunday into Monday could be a soaker. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s, still very humid. So I guess we got to get used to this stuff. Stu, right?
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, still ahead as we continue, Zsa Zsa's husband found naked in his rolls.
And the amazing story of a cat doctors think predicts death.
And coming up in sports tonight, going for the sweep as the hot Yankees try to make it 7 straight wins as they play the Royals in Kansas City. And the retirement of the classy Curtis Martin. Next in sports on News Channel 4 at 11.
It was a strange crime in Patterson and mystifying. How do you steal a swimming pool without spilling a drop of water? Daisy Valdiva's 3-foot-high inflatable pool filled with 1,000 gallons of water was stolen 2 nights ago. Not a single drop was spilled. So where did all the water go? The police are still scratching their heads.
Len Berman here. Both teams going for a sweep tonight, baseball team?
Yes, they were. The Yankees, first of all, going for the 4-game sweep in Kansas City. And Keiagawa on the mound for the Yankees, and he got roughed up early, bottom of the 2nd inning. Tony Pena Jr., he's the son of the Yankee first base coach, splits the outfielders, an RBI triple, 1-0 Royals. 3 batters later, David DeJesus, he rips a 2-run double to right center. A 4-run inning for the Royals. 5 runs in 5 2/3 against the struggling Agawa. Yankee bats finally cooling off after 70 runs in their last 6 games. None tonight. Newly acquired Jose Molina hit into the inning-ending double play. Royals won at 7-0 the final. And in Cleveland tonight, Manny Ramirez batting for Boston, top of the 2nd against Cliff Lee, and this is long gone to center. Manny also homered in the 8th. Red Sox win at 14-9, so the Yanks trail Boston by 7.5. They're still 4.5 back of Cleveland for the wild card. And the Mets trying for the sweep of the Pirates this afternoon at Shea, up 1-0 in the 6th. That's when things fell apart for the Mets. First, on the bunt attempt, Oliver Perez airmails the throw, and that tied the game at 1. 3 batters later, former Mets Xavier Nady, the shot off David Wright's knee. 2-run score. It was 3-1 Pirates. Next batter, Yankee cast-off Josh Phillips, and a 2-run shot caps a 5-run 6th. 8-4 Pittsburgh, the final. Just their 2nd win since the All-Star break. The Mets lead the Braves, still by 4. Well, the Jets and Giants open camp tomorrow in Albany. Giant coach Tom Coughlin saying, let's forget last year.
Last year's last year. I mean, we're in the playoffs 2 years in a row. That's probably where I'll have to leave it. You always want to be better. You always want to win. You never want to be in a position where you don't. So, you know, losing is unacceptable and winning is okay. But obviously, the second half of the year, there wasn't enough of that.
And running back Curtis Martin made it official today, retiring from the Jets. He told me team ownership is in his near future. He didn't say which team, not the Jets. He retires the 4th leading rusher in league history, over 14,000 yards, behind Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, and Barry Sanders. But after a career year in 2004, a knee injury in the 2nd week of 2005 essentially ended his career. And in this time where off-the-field news seems to dominate the headlines, the sports world is losing a class act.
I think this is a time where most people are going to shun them and crucify them, whereas for me, I feel as though they're still colleagues. I don't condone it. I'm not saying that it's okay. But at the same time, I'm not going to throw away the person.
On behalf of myself and the rest of us average Joes, please pass along a thank you and good luck to him. I read Martin an email I received from a fan thanking him for the type of person he is, and always Martin humble.
When I came into this league, it wasn't to break records. It wasn't to go to the Hall of Fame. You know, it was to leave a legacy of character, integrity, and hard work, you know, leadership. Those are the names that I want to be synonymous with the name Curtis Martin.
It certainly is. He is headed to the Hall of Fame in 5 years. And how is this for a Major League debut today? John Lannon from Long Beach on the island, starting for the Washington Nationals. In the 5th inning, he hit Chase Utley of the Phillies with the pitch. Utley broke his hand. The next batter, and he hits Ryan Howard. Lannon got himself ejected from the game.
And they throw the rookie pitcher out of the game.
I'm pretty shocked. I mean, I wasn't throwing at anybody. I was just trying to make good pitches and got away from me.
This could be a Major League first. Back-to-back plunks, then a thumb in your debut. An island kid makes good. Sports.
Thanks, Lynn. We'll be right back.
AT&T, your world delivered.
An explosion at an airport in California's Mojave Desert killed 2 people today and critically injured 4 others. It happened at an air and spaceport facility owned by the pioneering rocket firm Scaled Composites, LLC. That's the company that built Spaceship One, the first private manned rocket to reach space. The accident apparently involved tanks of nitrous oxide during a rocket test. The company is headed up by famed aerospace designer Burt Rutan and is developing a rocket for the space tourism business for Virgin Galactic.
We got our first close-up look today at the heart of the frozen zone, the huge crater from last week's steam pipe explosion. It stretches across the entire width of Lexington Avenue. Con Ed crews have been digging holes around the crater to make repairs, but they have not started to work on the crater itself. Some people still aren't able to return to their offices.
Zsa Gabor's husband was found naked today in the back seat of his Rolls-Royce, but he has an explanation. Frederick von Anhalt claims he was mugged behind the Bel Air Country Club by 3 attractive women. He told police the women said they were fans and wanted to have their picture taken with him, but then they pulled a gun on him before getting away with cash and all his clothes, according to Van Anhalt. You may remember von Anhalt as one of the many men claiming to be the father of Anna Nicole Smith's baby.
That sort of thing happens every day.
I hear that.
Time to find out what Jay Leno has in store tonight.
Chuck Sue, good show tonight. Michael Moore making a shocking announcement on our program that will happen 1 year from today. Plus music from Perry Farrell's Satellite Party. Howie Mandel live from Canada with his hidden camera. A great show coming up right after the news. Shocking.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity again. And if you wish you...
A cat named Oscar has an uncanny ability to detect when one of the patients in a nursing home in Rhode Island is going to die. The New England Journal of Medicine reports that on 25 different occasions, Oscar sniffed the patients, then curled up beside the one who was just hours from death. Now, when nurses spot Oscar at a patient's bedside, they hurry to let the family know that the patient's time has come. For those without families, Oscar provides the comfort of his company.
Amazing. That's it for News Channel 4 at 11. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is straight ahead.
Good night.
Tomorrow morning, watch Today in New York. And for radio, traffic, news, and weather, tune to 1010 Wins.